There's no such thing as junk DNA, and I'm going to share with you why this is so important right here and right now. Greetings, happy Monday to you. It's Deborah, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I wanted to focus on a specific challenge that we disruptors have. Um, this is something that runs still through my mind so many times, probably in a day, still after all of these years, which is I'm so different. Um, that's not going to work for me. I'm too weird. I'm too different, and something like that. And it might not be a negative thing, but just an understanding that there's something different about me, and it pops up everywhere. It could pop up at any given time. And I want to say that this is very common for people who think differently, who are kind of on the precipice of a new way of perceiving the world, themselves, and their place in it. And this is for you. This is for you if this resonates for you, if you know that you felt out of place, usually still through adulthood. It's usually not just in childhood. I want you to know that you're not alone, and I think this is going to be really encouraging for you. So I love the story of the little girl in The Matrix, where she's a daughter of two programs, and technically she wasn't supposed to be created because there was no specific reason for her from the machines, but still she was conceived out of love by her program parents. And it's like the introduction to the machines of the concept of love. They're trying to understand this concept of love. And it's so cool because at the end, the little girl makes this beautiful sunrise for Neo, right? If you know the stories. But what I really love about that is that even this little girl who seemed to have no purpose, seemed to not have a use, had a very important purpose, and she represented something, and she did something very different. I mean, it literally changed the entire way that the Matrix was run. And so I want to bring that out to disruptors today who may feel like, why? We've all asked this. Why am I even here? Like, why is it so different? Why am I so different? Why am I not fitting in? Why is it so challenging for me to interface with other people? What is going on? Like, what's so different about me? And sometimes, and I know that this is not, I know that we have lost many disruptors too early because they didn't get good answers to these questions. And I hope that if you are in that place, that you understand your purpose is so incredibly important. Everyone has a different purpose, and some of us are here to change the way that people see things, change the way that people do things, change things. Change. We are agents of change in one form or another. And obviously, if you're an agent of change, you're going to be different, right? That's like the whole definition of change, is doing things differently. So that doesn't make you any less valuable or important or useful than someone who may not be an agent of change. They may be an agent of something else that's also very critical and important, right? There's no such thing as junk DNA. And all of our programming is in our DNA. What the color of our eyes are, how our skin features are, what color our hair is, the way we laugh. A lot of things are programmed into our DNA. But it doesn't just go on those surface physical characters. It's also our role. And if you look at your life will always give you clues and clarity as to exactly why you're here. There is a theme that's running throughout your life. It has been with you always, no matter what. And it doesn't matter how you were born, where you were born, or who you were born to, or how you were raised. Certain themes will keep showing up over and over again. And we tend to, because we've been taught to do so, we tend to focus on the the evidence, so to speak, that we are not accepted or that there's something that's wrong that needs to be corrected, instead of focusing on exactly what we were able to accomplish without trying, exactly what we were able to shift without putting any conscious thought into it. Those moments, those events can clue you in to your unique purpose, your unique role that you are playing. And this is so important because we need our disruptors to know that you're so incredibly critical and important for the well-being of the planet. You, just you, even if you never win a Nobel Peace Prize or, make the New York Times bestseller list, you are important to humanity. And I'm sorry that in our world, often conformity is celebrated more than disruption. Or there's a specific type of disruption that's celebrated. And if you don't fit into that type, you still don't get any love, it feels like, but that's not true. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the story of the Matrix when it comes to Neo, because it's not something that I picked up on when I first watched it, but watching it a second and third time and actually watching a couple of reviews on it, it started to make sense. We always thought at the beginning of the movie that Neo was a disruptor. He was the one who was going to save humanity and bring an end to the tyranny of the machines. But in truth, the entire first and second movies, he was not a disruptor. He was programmed. He, as a human being, was programmed to fill the role of the one who would then eventually reset the matrix and restart the process all over again. The time when he became a disruptor was when he made a choice not to save humanity. He made a choice not to reboot the matrix. He made a choice to go for love and to save the person that he loved instead of rebooting the matrix. That was the first time that he was actually a disruptor. What does that have to do with you and I here today? Often we might think that we are in a role of disruptor, but if we're still not feeling fully fulfilled by that role, the likelihood is that we're still playing a role. Just the role is now disruptor, right? Like some people, like their father was a judge, their grandfather was a judge, their great-grandfather was a judge. So guess what they end up doing? They become judges, right? Some people, their father was an entrepreneur, their grandfather was an entrepreneur, their great-grandfather was an entrepreneur. So what they do, they become entrepreneurs. For some of us, their father was a disruptor, their great-father was a disruptor. So we just continue the role. And I'm giving that as an example. That it doesn't have to be like that. But we continue a role that someone else placed on us as to how a disruptor is supposed to look. We haven't actually fully broken free yet of someone external expectations. And I just find it so interesting. It's like a movie inside a movie. It's kind of like Inception, where you can think you are doing things totally originally and you're not. The only way that you know is how you feel. If you're feeling 100% alive and on fire and inspired and just like it's flowing through you, you have this knowing that this is what you're supposed to be doing, then yeah, that's you being a true disruptor. But if you are feeling like there's a part of you that's caged or locked down or something like that, then most likely there's still more to explore there. And speaking from experience, it can feel super scary to go down that path. But honestly, the freedom that comes with it, when you realize on the other side there was nothing to be afraid of, but you don't know until you've gone through. You just don't know. So I'm sharing this with you today for a couple of reasons. The first is understand that there's no such thing as junk DNA. You are here for a reason, and whatever is you're wired to be, that's who you need to honor. That's it. You don't need to honor any other expectations. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay. Second of all, I want you to understand that your level of fulfillment, your level of clarity comes from how you feel. No one else can tell you whether you're truly living your purpose or not. Only you can. It is not like cut and dry, and it's not like, okay, one day I wasn't living my purpose and the next day I found it and now I'm living it. It doesn't work like that. It's like it's a gradual revelation, okay? Because honestly, it probably would be a shock to the system if we got all of it at once. It's kind of like a gradual thing. So I guess my question for you is, have you ever felt like junk DNA? And if so, what changed your mind about that? What reminded you of your purpose and your importance and your role in humanity's growth and evolution? I guess I didn't share mine. I'll be happy to do that in the comments. But for sure, there have been many instances where I've come to realize I'm not junk DNA, that I'm here for a very specific purpose. And I own it and I wear it with pride now. I no longer try to slide back from saying I'm a disruptor or from living my purpose and doing the thing I'm here to do. Alrighty, much love. Bye.